First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Yorkshire Volunteer Fire Department. I'm the Chief, Chief Jerry Deem, and President Christy Lovelace of our organization. Again, it's an honor and a pleasure that we were asked to participate in this great ceremony. And again, on behalf of the department and all the members, I want to welcome everyone here. I will share with you a quick story, and this just came to light as we prepared for an open house today, and I share this with the children that are being recognized today. As we advertised for our open house for today, there was a member of the community that received our flyer or our mailer, and an adult, and he came by today to visit the station, but to say thank you for the services we provided in his time of need. He was critically injured, and because of the services that we provided as fire and rescue providers, he was able to make a full recovery and is functioning just fine today. A lot of what the kids have done it goes along the same way. Is what you did to help a family member, friend, or other is you're to be commended for. And so anyway, I just thought it was kind of interesting that he showed up today to thank us for that. So I wanted to just share that with y'all. I have Chief Kevin McGee from Prince William County Fire and Rescue Service, or Department. Captain McAteer, I get that right? I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Are here, and the captain will share the information and stories, and Chief McGee and myself, along with Pam, will hand out awards. I also would like to welcome our corporate members that are joining us this year. It's the first time we've done something like this. We've got the support of our Homes for Heroes and Northwest Federal Credit Union, and there's some extra gifts in your bags today from them. So again, thank you all.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming out this afternoon in some inclement weather to help us honor these fine children that are being recognized for, and many times, some heroic actions on their part. As you see, a film crew is here from the County Communications Center, and you're likely to see this again on the Comcast cable. So welcome to the communications staff. Chief Deem, thank you very much for hosting this event again this year. This is the second year that we've been here. Thank you very much. I also want to introduce Pam Mollenauer. She's the coordinator for this program. She's also one of our assistant shift supervisors, and she's the teletype coordinator for our 911 call center. Pam, thank you again for all that you've done to make this program a success.
You're very welcome.
As Chief Dean said, I'm the director of the 911 call center, referred to as a Public Safety Communications Center. And I often use this analogy when I talk to potential new employees. No one calls 911 to tell us they're having a good day. When they call, something catastrophic has happened in their life. They've witnessed something, they've been the victim of something, or in some ways they need some type of help, whether it be police, fire, or emergency medical assistance. The children being recognized today knew what to do in a time of crisis. The family members, you should be proud of what you did to instruct them and teach them on how to use 911 and how to use it correctly. They remained calm and stayed on the line with the call taker until whatever help arrived that they were calling about. In my role, I listen to a lot of the calls that come into the call center, and I've heard many adults that have had to call in for assistance that never remained as calm as these children remained calm in the face of the crisis that they were dealing with. Again, families, you should be very proud of them and their actions, and children being recognized today, you likewise deserve a great deal of thanks and credit for your actions, for what you're being recognized today. Chief McGee, do you have any comments you would like to make now, sir?
Well, thank you all for being here, joining us for this important ceremony. This is one of the events that I look forward to all year. I'm very proud of what these children have demonstrated regarding the responsibility that they took to take action when an emergency has occurred. And our Board of County Supervisors has made very big investments into our public safety system for both police and fire and rescue services. And we're ready, we're trained, we're well equipped to respond to any emergency that occurs in our community. But we can't help anybody unless we get that call. And getting the right information to tell us what units we should send. And it would not have been possible in the cases that we're going to be hearing about if it weren't for these children. And they made a big impact on both life and property in our county. So it says a lot about the youth of our county that they can take the responsibility to dial 911 and report an emergency and call for the help that's needed. But as Captain McIntyre mentioned also, it says a lot about the parents and in some cases grandparents who instruct their children how to use the 911 system and not to use it as part of play, but only when there's a real emergency that needs to be reported. So I look forward to hearing every one of the stories and meeting each and every one of you. Thank you for what you've done to intervene in an emergency. I'm very proud of you.
Chief Dean, do you have any comments? Yes, sir. Those of you who ever have had the need to contact 911 know that many times it's a very catastrophic event that's occurred. And you're upset, scared, sometimes not knowing what to do, and you rely on the public safety professionals on the other end of that line to give you some guidance and assistance to get you through that situation. And put yourself in the lives of these children that have had to deal with that catastrophic event. Those of us in public safety see the worst of these events every single day of our careers. And it's very comforting to know that we have children out here that know exactly what to do in a time of crisis. It's indeed an honor for me to be here today to recognize them and to share with each of you their heroic actions that led to them being recognized for this Make the Right Call program. So I ask Chief Dean and Chief McGee and Pam if you will help me with this as I read the nominations. And I apologize in advance if I get the spelling pronunciations wrong. So please bear with me. Rebecca Boyce. If you're here, Rebecca, would you please come forward? Rebecca Boyce called 911 in August 2012 from her mother's cell phone to say that she had just witnessed a vehicle crash. Rebecca, then 12 years old, reported that no one was trapped in the vehicle. With the aid of other adult bystanders, it was determined that one of the vehicle's occupants had a possible head injury, and EMS was called to the scene along with the police. Thanks to Rebecca's observations and level-headedness, first responders were able to keep everyone safe. Rebecca Boyce is being recognized for the Making the Right Call program. Nathan Allen. Nathan, if you're here, would you please come forward? Nathan Allen called 911 in October 2012 because an adult family member suffered a medical emergency. Nathan, then 11 years old, answered all of the call taker's questions and remained calm. The call taker was impressed at Nathan's calmness and that he knew how to care for the adult family member until help could arrive. Natalie and Anthony Villalba called 911 in October 2012 because an adult family member suffered a medical emergency and did not appear to be breathing. At the time, the sister and brother were ages 10 and 9, respectively. The call taker who nominated them said they remained calm when following instructions. They were unable to turn the adult on his side. The siblings, with the help of the call taker, were able to monitor the adult and keep the call taker informed of everything that was going on until EMS could arrive. Katrina Mendez Abnick. She called 911 in November 2012 and reported that an adult family member was suffering a bad headache. Katrina, who was 9 years old at the time, spoke to the call takers and translated back and forth for another family member until EMS could arrive on the scene. The fact that this 9-year-old remained calm and communicated clearly in 2 languages impressed the call taker who nominated her. For that, she's being recognized for making the right call program. Kind of loaded down there. Jasmine Villatoro. She called 911 in November 2012 because an older sibling was experiencing chest pains. Jasmine, who was 9 years old at the time, stayed on the line and followed the call taker's instructions until EMS could arrive. Luis Leva Mondragon. He called 911 in January 2013 to report that an adult family member was pregnant and had fallen unconscious. Luis, who was 9 years old at the time, stayed on the line and followed the call taker's instructions until EMS could arrive. For that, he's being nominated for the Make the Right Call program. Audrey Jones. She called 911 in February 2013 to report that an adult family member was experiencing chest pains and other symptoms. Audrey, who was 10 years old at the time, was prompt in answering all the call takers' questions until EMS could arrive. Rebecca Velasquez. She called 911 in September 2013 because she came home from school to find the door to her house unlocked and damaged. Rebecca, who was 12 years old at the time, wisely went to a neighbor's house to use the phone and call 911. The call taker who nominated her said that Rebecca was frightened but answered all questions. She even advised the call taker that her younger siblings would be arriving home from school soon and that the bus let them off at their driveway. Rebecca stayed on the line with the call taker until police arrived on the scene. For her actions, she's being nominated for Make the Right Call program. Collier Hunt. He called 911 in September 2013 because an adult family member was having difficulty breathing. Collier, who was 12 years old at the time, advised the call taker that the family member had been ill for a few days. The call taker who nominated him noted that they could hear the adult family member in the background and that she seemed to be in great distress. Collier remained calm, following the call taker's instructions while also caring for 2 young siblings who were home. Without his intervention, the call taker reported the outcome for the family member might have been far different. Brian James Kirby. He called 911 in September 2013 because he heard someone screaming outside. He went outside and located an injured person. Brian, who was 13 years old at the time, got disconnected from 911, but the call taker called him back. Brian remained calm and cooperative and remained on the line with the injured person until police and EMS units could arrive. Michael Baxus. He called 911 in September 2013 because an adult family member was attempting to change an alarm system and had gotten stuck on a third-floor ledge in the home. Michael, who was just 5 years old at the time, was very calm on the phone. He was also excited to meet a real firefighter. The call taker said Michael did an awesome job, 5 years old. Erica Grace George. She called 911 on March the 18th, 2013, because her mother's roommate's ex-husband had come to the house and was causing problems, and Mom was trying to get him to leave. Erica ran to her mother's bedroom and used the telephone to call police. Erica provided all the information that was required, and the police had been dispatched to the house. Mom was scared because when she finally got him out of the house and she herself into the garage area, she did not know where her daughter had gone to. So Mom calls 911, and the call taker told her that they had Erica on another 911 line and assured Mom that her daughter was safe and in her bedroom. When police arrived, the two call takers assured Erica that the knock at the door was her mother and it was okay to open the door. Erica had learned what to do from Officer Chris Young. When he was a rookie, he had come into their business and always talked to Erica, and she was very proud of the officer. One of the call takers said that Erica kept them updated on the situation at their residence, and she was very mature, although she was scared. She remained calm and did exactly what she was supposed to do. The two call takers could overhear Mom telling her how proud she was of Erica. What strikes home to us in the police department is Officer Chris Young was the motor officer who was fatally killed on New Year's Eve of 2012 on 28 towards Nokesville. I'm glad that he made that lasting impression on Erica, and for that she's being recognized for Make the Right Call. As you can see from listening to the stories, it's incredible to see what these children did in the wake of some catastrophic and, in many cases, life-threatening experiences. You should take a lesson from their actions. We get one chance to make it right in public safety, and your children got one chance to make it right, and they did make it right. And you very much should be proud of what they did to help your family members and deal with the crises they were confronted with. And for the younger children that you have, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to explain to them on the proper use of 911. It's not a toy. It's not something to play around with. It's something that's vitally important. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming out today. I hope that you get a chance, if you haven't already, to participate in the open house downstairs. I'm going to ask the two chiefs if they have any final comments before we leave.
I want to also recognize our 911 telecommunicators and our dispatchers. These nominations that were submitted and the awards that are presented today came from those 911 telecommunicators. And as you heard the stories, you can certainly get a sense for the pressures and the stresses on the staff in our 911 center, and how proficient they are in getting information, the information that's necessary to route the call to either for police response or for fire rescue response, and in many cases, a response from both police and fire and rescue. Also in the communications center, and what's being done simultaneous to the 911 telecommunicator receiving additional information, is the dispatching of the appropriate response units by the dispatchers. It's a very efficient, close-knit team. We have a sophisticated communications center with a lot of telecommunications equipment and computer equipment, so that we can get the emergency units to the scene as quickly as possible. So we have a very big public safety team. It's our police officers, our fire rescue providers, but it's also you. None of the emergencies that we heard about today would have been possible for us to respond to and properly handle if it wasn't for those 911 phone calls and for getting the information that was needed for the public safety providers to respond effectively. And you did it in a way where you kept calm, you kept focused, you made sure that you were safe, and you listened to the instructions of the 911 telecommunicator. And as a result, each one of these cases had a positive outcome. So thank you all once again for being here, and to our awardees, congratulations on great work and setting an example for everybody else in our county to emulate. So thank you all for being here.
All the award winners with their certificates come up front so that you can get your pictures taken.
I'll just real quick, again, I've got to say that it is, I think when we were talking, this is the third year, over the course of the years that we've been able to host this, and it's an honor to have the families and the children that made the difference come through our doors and be a part of our day that we share for the community for an open house. So you guys have made a difference in our day, and we appreciate it. So again, not only did you make the right call, but you made the difference in someone's life. And that's what it's about in public safety, whether you're at whatever level you're at, as Chief McGee just described. So again, thank you for making the difference in someone's life. Again, appreciate it.